All right, let's talk about something that can feel super stressful when you're buying a home, the mortgage rate lock. I know, it sounds a little intimidating, right? But don't worry. By the time we're done here, you're going to feel like a pro and know exactly how to lock in your rate and, more importantly, your peace of mind. So let's jump right in.
Okay, picture this. You've done it. You've found the house, the one you've been dreaming about, and even better, you've shopped around for a mortgage, and a lender just quoted you this amazing interest rate. It feels like everything is finally clicking into place. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? Here's the catch, and it is a huge one. That awesome rate you just got quoted? Yeah, it's not guaranteed. It's not set in stone. In fact, it can change tomorrow, or even later today.
And that right there is the big problem with just getting a rate quote. It's why you need a real strategy.
Think of a rate quote like a snapshot in time. It's a picture of what rates look like at that exact second. But the market is always moving. So a few weeks or a month down the road, when it's actually time to sign the papers, the whole picture could look totally different.
So you're probably wondering, why do they change so much? Well, it's not just one thing. You've got these big economic forces at play. Things like inflation reports, job numbers, what the Federal Reserve decides to do with its rates, and even just basic supply and demand. All this stuff keeps the market constantly shifting.
And this is where it gets real for your wallet. All that volatility creates a huge risk. A tiny jump in the interest rate can mean your monthly payment goes up, sometimes by a lot. It could be enough to stretch your budget to the breaking point, or worse, push that dream home just out of reach. It's a ton of uncertainty at the exact moment you want things to be solid.
So what can you do about it? How do you protect yourself from all this chaos? Well, you need a shield. And in the mortgage world, that shield has a name, the rate lock.
So what exactly is a mortgage rate lock? It's basically a promise from your lender. They're saying, okay, we promise to hold this specific interest rate and these points just for you. And they'll hold it for a set amount of time while they're getting all your paperwork processed. It's your ticket to taking the guesswork out of the equation.
Now here's something really important. Don't mix up a rate lock with a loan commitment. They sound similar, but they're totally different. A rate lock is all about securing your interest rate. A loan commitment is the lender promising to actually give you the money once everything's approved. So think of it this way. Rate lock equals rate certainty, loan commitment equals loan certainty. Both are good, but they're not the same thing.
Okay, so now you know what a rate lock is. Let's get into the fun part, how to actually use it. This is where you can get a little strategic and choose the right plan for you.
You've usually got three main choices on the table. Option 1, lock it all down, the rate and the points. This gives you the most certainty, period. Option 2 is a bit of a hedge. You lock the interest rate, but you let the points float, meaning they can change. This could be smart if you think rates might drop a bit. And then there's option 3, float everything. You're basically gambling that rates will go down before you close, but you're also taking on the risk that they could go up. Just remember, your lock has an expiration date. The most common lock periods are for 30 or 60 days. You can get longer ones, like 90 or 120 days, which is pretty common if you're building a new home and expect some delays. But, and this is a big but, you're almost always going to pay a higher fee for a longer lock.
And yeah, let's talk about those fees, because that's super important. A lot of lenders charge you just for the privilege of locking your rate. It might be a flat fee, or it could be a percentage of your loan. Sometimes even bake it into your interest rate. The bottom line is you have to ask and make sure you know exactly what this is going to cost you.
Now, a rate lock is an amazing tool, but it's not a magic wand. It isn't completely foolproof. There are actually a few situations where your locked rate could still be at risk.
The second you lock your rate, a timer starts. It's like a race against the clock, and any little delay, a problem with the appraisal, you're missing a document, maybe the lender's just swamped, all those things eat up precious days. If that timer runs out before you close on the house, poof, your lock expires.
And you've got to know the rules of the game here. Even with a lock, if certain things about your application change, the whole deal can change. For example, if your credit score takes a dive, or you decide to change the loan program, or the house appraisal comes in way lower than everyone thought, any of those things can give the lender a reason to hit the reset button on your rate.
Okay, so how do you stay in the driver's seat through all this? It's all about being prepared and asking the right questions. Think of this next part as your personal action plan.
First off, you have more power here than you think to speed things up. Before you even talk to a lender, get all your paperwork together, pay stubs, bank statements, all that stuff. When the lender asks for something, get it to them ASAP, and just stay in touch with your lender and your agent. Seriously, being quick is your #1 weapon to make sure that lock doesn't expire.
All right, now for the questions you absolutely must ask your lender. These are non-negotiable. First, and most important, will I get the lock-in agreement in writing? A verbal promise means nothing. Get it in writing. Always.
Next up, you want to ask them about something called a float-down option. This is a fantastic feature. It basically means if rates happen to drop after you've already locked, some lenders will let you snag that new lower rate. They might charge a small fee for it, but it could save you a ton of money. You have to ask if they offer it.
This next one is about knowing the worst-case scenario ahead of time. Ask them, what happens if my lock expires because of a delay? Do you just get whatever the current rate is that day? Do you have to pay a fee to extend it? You need to know their policy on this before it ever becomes an issue.
And last but not least, you want zero surprises when it comes to money. Ask them point blank, what are all the fees? Are there upfront costs? Can I get them back if something goes wrong? What's the fee to extend the lock? Or for that float-down option we just talked about? Make them lay out every single potential cost so you have the full picture.
Look, at the end of the day, a rate lock is about one thing: turning uncertainty into something predictable. It's not just about locking in a number on a page. It's about locking in your monthly budget. It's about giving yourself the peace of mind to be excited about your new home, not stressed about it. And now you've got the playbook. You're ready to handle this like a total pro.